Welcome to News9 and you are watching On Point. Today I have two on points for you, but before that, headlines. India chases 265 against Australia in semi-final of the Champions Trophy in Dubai. Kannada actor and stepdaughter of DGP Ramachandra Rao, Rania Rao, caught smuggling 14.8 kg gold worth rupees 12 crore at Bengaluru airport. Relief for ex-SEBI chairperson Madhabi Puri Buch. Bombay High Court says the FIR against her in alleged market fraud case. Calling someone Miyatiya or Pakistani is in poor taste but not a criminal offence, says Supreme Court while quashing a case against an 80-year-old man. Supreme Court raps states over failure to provide affordable drugs and medical equipment, seeks a policy to prevent exploitation of patients admitted to private hospitals. Enforcement Directorate arrests M.K. Faizi, the chief of the SDPI, from Delhi airport on money laundering charges. SDPI is the political arm of the banned Popular Front of India. Amid cash crunch and row over recliner, Siddaramaiah-led panel gives its nod for a salary hike for Karnataka MLAs. The global trade war escalates. China retaliates with up to 15% tariffs on US imports, also imposes export and investment restrictions on 25 American firms. US President Donald Trump halts US military aid to Ukraine days after his Oval Office clash with Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky. The sacking of Maharashtra Cabinet Minister Dhananjay Munde indicates that Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis is walking the talk. By acting against a prominent minister after taking a stand not to allow tainted persons to be appointed on key government posts, Fadnavis has asserted himself once again. In fact, he will emerge stronger from the crisis. On Tuesday, Dhananjay Munde resigned over the murder of Santosh Deshmukh, a sarpanch from Beed district, with videos and images of incidents surfacing on social media. Munde was in soup over his alleged proximity to murder suspect and local strongman Valmik Karad. Who exactly is Dhananjay Munde and what is his importance in Maharashtra's political landscape? Dhananjay Munde is MLA from Parali. He was Minister for Food, Civil Supplies and Consumer Protection. Munde is an NCP leader who sided with Deputy CM Ajit Pawar when he split from his uncle Sharad Pawar in 2023. In all previous Eknath Shinde-led Maharashtra government, Munde was the Guardian Minister of Beed district, his hometown. He is the nephew of former Union Minister Gopinath Munde and the cousin of Gopinath Munde's daughter Pankaja Munde, who is Maharashtra's Minister of Environment, Climate Change and Animal Husbandry. So what is Munde's connection with the Beed Sarpanch case? Munde's close aide and local strongman Valmik Karad had earlier been arrested for allegedly masterminding the brutal murder of Santosh Deshmukh, Sarpanch of Masajong village and a windmill owner. In December 24, their closeness was open secret. Munde and Karad were often seen together at public events. Santosh Deshmukh, Sarpanch of Masajong village, was allegedly kidnapped on December 9th last year. His murder was connected to the extortion case in which the accused attempted to extort money from windmill company. Deshmukh was brutally killed in alleged retaliation for trying to prevent extortion attempts against an energy firm linked to windmill project. Deshmukh was shoved into an SUV, assaulted for close to 3 hours before he died. The body was dumped on a road near his village. Shocking details emerged from CID charge sheet submitted last week in Beed District Court. Extreme brutality inflicted on Deshmukh. Accused recorded 15 videos and took 8 photos while torturing Deshmukh. Accused made 2 WhatsApp video calls during the assault. Attackers allegedly used a 41-inch gas pipe with a handle on iron rod with 5 clutch wires, wooden sticks and sharp weapons to torture him. Victim was forced to sit half naked while being kicked, punched and stuck with various objects. Another clip showed the attackers urinating on the severely injured victim. This isn't the first time Fadnavis had taken a strong stand since he took over as Chief Minister. Recently, he declared he won't allow persons facing corruption charges to be appointed as personal assistants, OSD to cabinet ministers. In his second term as Chief Minister, Fadnavis has emerged as a strong, tactically sound leader. So the big question is, have both these actions, sacking a cabinet minister and refusing to appoint tainted candidates as OSDs, emerged from position of strength or weakness, and it has opened up a political storm in Maharashtra? We'll discuss this with my guests. But before that, let me play out the bite of Uddhav Thackeray, Devendra Fadnavis and other political leaders.
धनंजय तो बोल रहे कि उनकी प्रकृति तबीयत ठीक नहीं है, इसलिए उन्होंने इस्तीफा दिया। अजित पवार बोल रहे कि नहीं, नैतिकता का कारण है। तो असलियत क्या है? जिस तरीके के सब फोटो और वीडियो कल आ गए बाहर, तो क्या होम डिपार्टमेंट के पास ये जानकारी पहले नहीं आई थी? अगर आई होगी तो क्यों इतने दिन लगाए? इतने दिन क्यों लगाए? और नहीं आई होगी तो क्या अपने होम डिपार्टमेंट की जो सिस्टम है, तो वो तो नाकामयाबी उनकी है, नाकामयाबी फिर होम डिपार्टमेंट की है। तो ये सारी बातों का उत्तर गवर्नमेंट को देना होगा।
आज महाराष्ट्र के मंत्री श्री धनंजय मुंडे, इन्होंने अपने पद का इस्तीफा मुझे सौंपा। मैंने ये इस्तीफा स्वीकृत किया है और अगली कार्रवाई के लिए मैंने ये इस्तीफा राज्यपाल जी के पास भेज दिया है।
ऐसा वीडियो वायरल हो गया है जिसमें संतोष देशमुख की जो हत्या हुई, उसको मार रहे थे, उसका वीडियो वायरल हुआ है। ये जो मुझे पूछा गया कि आपने ये देखा क्या, तो मेरा ये जवाब है, और जो मैं अंतर्मन से दे रही हूँ, जिन्होंने उस बच्चे को इतनी निर्दयता से मारा है और उसके ऊपर उसका वीडियो किया है, उनके मन में जितनी निर्मनुष्यता, निर्दयता है, उतनी निर्दयता मेरे मन में नहीं कि मैं इस वीडियो को देखूं और इसके ऊपर कुछ राजनीति का प्लान करूं। मैं उस वीडियो को नहीं देख पाऊंगी, मेरे में उतना बल नहीं।
Now, Devendra Fadnavis has taken a very strong position. So what goes for Devendra Fadnavis? Probity. That's the most important thing that goes for Devendra Fadnavis here. Because Devendra Fadnavis is trying to increase probity. He has a massive mandate. He's exercising that mandate. And he's streamlining the state administration. But there is also the other side, which is what can go against Fadnavis? Lack of consensus with coalition partners. It's tickling the bones of various leaders, and statements from allies over perceived differences which have come from Mr. Shinde, not to be taken lightly. But then something has happened in which Mr. Fadnavis has shaped up the entire Maharashtra administration differently. People never expected him to do that, but he has actually stamped his authority. I am joined by journalists Smita Mishra, KG Suresh, senior journalist, and Ajit Kejha, psephologist and journalist. Let me straight away go to Smita. Smita, it's a coalition government. Am I correct to say that the message that has gone out is, yes, it is a coalition government, but it is Fadnavis who is running it?
Yes, it is Mr. Fadnavis who is running it, and unlike the usual impression we have of a coalition government, where people think that when you are dependent on your allies to run your government, to run your administration, you are supposed to be accommodative, and you are supposed, there is this term of a Baisakhi government, you will be on crutches, and you will have to pander to your allies. But opposite to that, completely diametrically opposite to it, the manner in which Mr. Fadnavis has been functioning so far, I see two very distinct ways he is trying to assert himself this time round as the chief minister. First of all, he is being very, very clear about the policies and the manner in which the government work, which is to say that he is taking his decisions firmly, expressing them emphatically, and he is also not doing any, none of his actions look as if pandering to his allies. So it is true that he may not, he is working with them, but he is letting them know that since he is chief minister, the government will be run on his vision is number one. Secondly, I also see him asserting himself very strongly on the ideological issues, where also the last time we did not see the same thing happening. So I must say that yes, this is an interesting avatar of Devendra Fadnavis, where he is being very assertive and also trying to give the message that allies are there, they must work together, they will be. But when it comes to questions on which he has his principles clear, it will not matter. Also, just one more line, Kartike, just to clear it to you. You see, there was some narrative being built up about the fact that Mr. Fadnavis' attitude or steps are directed towards a certain ally. But after this Dhananjay Munde incident and another incident, you must have noticed that it is not directed at any particular ally. It is the way he is going to work. That seems to be the very, very clear message.
Now, let me straight away go to KG Suresh. KG Suresh, is it just about assertion of Fadnavis as the CM, or is it telling us the larger distribution of power within the coalition ecosystem?
Kartike, let's not forget.
And second thing, has Fadnavis emerged stronger with these actions? The PSO, the APS, the action which he took on the appointments of number of assistant secretaries, weeding out some of them who he thought that weren't fit for the job, and the action today which he has taken in terms of making him resign.
Kartike, let's not forget that Devendra Fadnavis is one of the few mass leaders whom the BJP has made chief minister. This is a very important point. Maybe except him, there is Himanta Biswa Sarma. The others were surprise selections. Of course, some of them are grooming up. They are being, prepared for the next generation leadership. But the fact is that many of the names were surprises. But Devendra Fadnavis was always an established name in BJP. He was chief minister. And second part is that you have allies who are equal aspirants for power in Maharashtra. Shiv Sena certainly was leading the coalition in the last tenure, and NCP has always been ambitious about it. In no way can Mr. Devendra Fadnavis allow the moral high to be snatched from him. He will always have that moral high because the BJP this time has performed extremely well, and he would certainly like not only to retain that position of the BJP, but also to strengthen it further, because both his allies are also equal claimants to power in the state and want to lead the state. So given that fact, certainly he will assert his identity, in terms of the ideology, in terms of probity, in terms of transparency, the image of the party, and also his own personal image as somebody who will not brook any nonsense. And I think that last evening's meeting he had with Mr. Pawar gave clear indication that, he had very categorically put his foot down and said nothing doing. This cannot be tolerated, and this was too hot a issue. And I'm sure that Mr. Pawar and Mr. Shinde, everybody was on board. Even his own cousin, of course, their relations were at a different level, but his own cousin had said that, Karad, you cannot think of this person without Karad, So they were very intrinsically linked to each other. So he had to go. But then to take a call that, particularly after the videos becoming viral, I think is certainly a bold step that he had taken, and we hope that he will continue with his, strong steps in terms of probity, transparency, and maintaining because this is very important.
Okay. Ajit, now let me get you in here. He has taken action in context of Eknath Shinde's party. He has taken some steps in context of the new NCP. These are not new politicians, Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar. महाराष्ट्र की राजनीति के हिंदी में बोलूं तो पुराने चावल हैं. They also understand the politics, Ajit, and they understand the long run. Do you think that this may impact the stability of relationship, because the government is completely stable, but the stability of relationship between three principals right now?
Karthike, I feel that the Chief Minister is actually in total control of the governance. He follows a particular model, which in fact he followed even when he was the Chief Minister for the first time. Remember his 5 years. He used to follow a model called your minister, my bureaucrat, right? That's exactly the model he started with when he came to power this time. The bureaucrats directly report to him, all the bureaucrats. In fact, you will find he has appointed at times bureaucrats to positions which at one time used to be held by, ministers. Sanjay Sethi is one person, an IS officer, I think 1992 batch. He hired him directly to head the roadways, right? Now that was not done in the past. It used to be totally a minister's post. And all these bureaucrats directly report to him. Now, having said that, this is a typical BJP model of governance. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, when he was in Gujarat, he had started this model. Of course, in Gujarat, the BJP used to dominate politics. They did not have to rely on coalition partners. But, the ministers did not have that kind of power because Modi ji directly would talk to bureaucrats, which Modi ji has also done once he became the Prime Minister. And also, I think Yogi ji in Uttar Pradesh tried to imbibe a similar kind of because UP cabinet is huge. So Yogi ji does the same. So Devendra Fadnavis belongs to that school of thought. So governance is totally in control. Now the thing is, as the opposition is claiming that Dhananjay Munde case took place, the story came out almost 2 months ago. So maybe he should have taken this decision 2 months back, if not 2 months, at least 1.5 months back. So there has been a delay, and that has given the opposition time to kind of, bring up the issue and sort of attack the government. But their numbers are very small. So I'm glad Devendra Fadnavis sort of talked to Ajit Pawar, because after all, Dhananjay Munde belongs to NCP, and spiked it off completely. In fact, the pressure was from the Chief Minister that if you don't resign, I am going to sack you. That is what I was told by some friends who are bureaucrats in Maharashtra. So I think he has done I think this, whatever the resignation, has come at the right time. It will still let him consolidate his governance model. What he should be careful about, that NCP, lot of the MLAs have a track record. So in replacing them, he has to vet them. He cannot get people like Dhananjay Munde types. After all, they were running an extortion racket from a long time. And many of the NCP guys, in fact, even some of the Shiv Sena guys have been doing that in the past. So this vetting process of a replacement has to be serious. And FIR, the opposition is now demanding that there should be FIR against Dhananjay. So that should be done. But I think the government is very, very, very much in control over governance.
Smita, do you think that the message has gone down to Eknath Shinde and Ajit Pawar? The straight messaging has gone down in last 1 month from Fadnavis that this is not business as usual.
No, in fact, the message might be that this will be the business as usual. So everybody need to mentally and otherwise adjust themselves to this line of, this line of the order, the line of order, the chain of command, and that needs to be accepted. Particularly in the case of Dhananjay Munde, I must say that yes, these stories were coming continuously, and everybody knew that the person who is the accused was how close he was to the minister. But I think it was after these photos and videos which came out that his situation became completely untenable. And secondly, now that he is not a minister, it will pave the way for an FIR on him too. So those are the issues we are talking about. But on a larger scale, I think, the gentleman speaking just now, he also hinted to it. And we know very well that the coalition that Mr. Fadnavis is heading is not an easy one. There are issues with the NCP, the Eknath Shinde camp also. So it will not be easy going, and therefore it is precisely because of this there will be elements like Dhananjay Munde on all sides. So I think it is because Mr. Fadnavis wants the people to know, including his allies, that look, if any such thing comes up in public glare, I will be the first to act. And it is a fact that had Dhananjay Munde not tendered his resignation, he would have been sacked. And I'm, if not 100% sure, I do believe there are enough indications that he will come, his name will be in the FIR now.
Is it, KG, is it also because of the fact that, BJP has numbers which is so close to majority, and obviously, when opposition parties are clapping, they are behaving like, friends of the government. Obviously, it can make our lives, one, uncomfortable, and a message to them that, in politics, a musical chair is never the far away. You can be actually outside the system very soon, because there are people who want to be there inside the system. So the choice, put it bluntly, I think Fadnavis is spoiled for choice. He can pick anyone, because all of them would like to, join his bandwagon.
BJP is doing business from a position of strength. There is absolutely no, because the sheer numbers that they have. So I think that the allies also know it very well. So they are also playing along, and they also know that they don't have a future, other than being with the BJP as of now. You have a UBT waiting outside, you have a Sharad Pawar and Supriya Sule waiting outside. So, they know it too well. But having said that, I also hope that this will not just look into the murder, which is very apparent, which is very clear on the video, but also I think that larger issues are there, that if extortion, the companies which are windmill companies and corporates, if there is an extortion racket which is happening, it does not bode well for a state which is known for industrialization,
Suresh,
which is one of the progressive states. So one really hopes that this inquiry goes beyond this.
It's actually easier said than done when you go after the deep state or the vested interest. Yeah. Even the best of our politicians have failed, because the vested interest in the deep state is the toughest thing to deal with.
Absolutely. But let's hope that at least because this also sends a very wrong message, that even companies are vulnerable to extortions and things like that. It's not a good message, for a state which is hoping for more investments. Now that there is a clash between China and US, one is hoping that there will be more American investments in India. So one hopes that the states really give very strong messages of security, safety, other than all other factors.
Absolutely. Also. If you ask me at the end of this conversation, I would say my takeaway is, by tiding over these crises within a few months of taking oath, that's my takeaway. CM Fadnavis has emerged stronger. He has really emerged stronger. The message for his coalition partners is, I may take your support, but I will run the government. So that's our takeaway, that by tiding over these crises within a few months of taking oath, as CM Fadnavis has emerged stronger. The message for his coalition partners, I may take your support, but I will run the government. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Smita, for joining me on this show. And this is all on point one. But on the other side, we will discuss the big meet called by Stalin on Wednesday on delimitation.
Women empowerment is all about letting the woman to remain the woman.
Perhaps you're right, because, we've seen what men have been doing all this time.
I think we are not nurturing and leveraging 50% of our strength, which are the women.
For